All right, so I am here to share my thoughts on Rick Chow, the trial and everything, the verdict. Cyrus Cormack, I think it's, I have here Benton, but I think I got his last name wrong. Cyrus, and just to share my thoughts on it, excuse me. So, rest in peace to Cyrus, and first and foremost, he should still be alive right now. Rick Chow should be in prison right now for murdering Cyrus. Any of you racists is going to say things like he shouldn't have been stealing. He didn't steal. If you saw from the video, and I just saw the video evidence from the store the other day. He walks into the store. And I'm going to describe it to y'all who didn't see it. Cyrus walks into the store. Rick's wife, who is in the store, says immediately to him that he has to put his bag down because he carried a book bag. By the way, their entire encounter, Cyrus is doing exactly as he is told. He takes off his book bag and puts it in the area where he was told to put it. He does that. He then continues his shopping, right? Or continues walking around, rocking, right? He walks to the aisle, obviously, where the drinks are. He pulls out 4 bottles of water, but then he puts the bottles of water back, closes the door, and then as he is making his way out, he is stopped by Rick Chow, his wife, and their son. He is then asked, this is the second time he followed orders, he is asked to pretty much open his pockets because they accuse him of stealing. Prior to that, by the way, from this video evidence, you can see that Miss Chow was following him around. And anyone that's going to try to argue otherwise, you're not black, or you're in denial, because you don't have to be black to clearly see that what she was doing was following him around in the store. She may not have been all up on his neck, this damn close to him, but she was following him around. Again, as someone who's been shopping since I was a teenager, in stores by myself, and even when I was out shopping, I remember I was a damn kid, and I was accused of stealing, and I was with my dad and my brother at the time, right? I was with both parents at another time, younger than that situation, and somebody had grabbed me and accused me of stealing. Both of those times, I did not steal a damn thing, right? But, when you black, it's part of life, right? But anyways, so you can tell that she's clearly following him. But, and she didn't see him steal anything, and he's trying to walk out. So he opens all of his pockets and lets it be known, I didn't steal anything. That should be it, right? That should be it. He continues to get his bag. He continues to casually walk out the store. He didn't run out. He didn't make, things super awkward. But who ran after him, the people who ran after him, Rick Chow and Rick Chow's, son. They go after him. The chase happens. Chow's son, I didn't see the altercation per se, but Chow's grown adult son apparently gets into a fight with this 14-year-old, right? I did see the video again of it's looking like not Rick, and it's looking like Rick and his son are going after him, and then unfortunately I did see the video of Cyrus's final moments, the shots to the back of his head that not back of his head, to his back in general, that killed him. Sad situation, sad story. And again, it ended up there was nothing on Cyrus that was found of him stealing. None of the waters that they claimed. Things were falling out of Cyrus's pockets as he was running away. He was tripping, he was falling, all this other stuff. He was running for his life, and the things that fell out of his pockets were things that belonged to him, right? Apparently 2 cell phones fell out. It wasn't like, and guess what? One of the cell phones was his mother's. The other one was his own. Other stuff that was falling off of him, his shoes. The shoes that he walked into the store with. Not shoes that were in the store that he just put on his feet and then tried to walk out like Marie from Breaking Bad did. Shout out to everyone who got that reference. But he wasn't, none of the stuff that was found on his person were things that he took from the store. These were his own possessions. Now, I saw one video, and it's going to seem like I'm going all over the place. But follow me, alright? Or not. I saw one video of this gentleman saying things like, kids should not have guns. I didn't see anything anywhere that pointed to Cyrus having a gun on him in the first place. I agree. I do believe you should train your child to shoot, to use a gun, only in the supervision of obviously the parents and a trained professional a licensed trained professional teacher of firearms, right? Firearms instructor. That was the term I was looking for, right? Obviously, those are the situations here. No 14-year-old should be going around carrying guns, this, that, and the third. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, whatever, right? I don't think you should be going around carrying guns at 14 years old. But I also don't see why that statement was made in the video where he was sharing his thoughts about what I'm sharing my thoughts on right now. I didn't see anywhere where it mentioned that Cyrus had a gun on him. Even if that was the case, though, he didn't shoot said gun, and he was once again running away from the fight. Whether you're a teenager who, again, shouldn't have a gun, but whether you're a teenager or an adult who is licensed to carry or even unlicensed to carry, if you are running away from the threat, you are not the threat. I don't care if you have a gun on you or not. You are not the threat. Now people could say, what if he was running away to gain some distance, then he's going to come back with the gun? And you don't know that for sure. When somebody is running away from you, they are likely running away without the intention of coming back. And if they do come back, it's going to be, it might be hours later. It might be even a day later. It might be a situation where, they're like, fuck that, I'm not even going to try anymore. Because, again, when people are running away from an altercation, most of their thought is, I want to get away from this situation and I'm not going to fuck around and find out. Y'all watch too many damn movies or play too many damn video games or just have too much of a what if mindset, scenario building mindset. Y'all need to fucking just write books and shit. And coming from a writer himself, with all the what if this happened, what if that happened, what if you picked up a book and actually wrote that shit. Anyways, in all seriousness, Cyrus was running away, and I highly doubt that Rick Chow and his son, if Cyrus was armed, we're going based off of if he was actually armed, I highly doubt they knew he was armed. Because again, even in that video, the store video, when he unpockets himself, he releases, he shows his pockets. I didn't see any items. No guns come out. None of that. Clearly, they didn't see anything either. They got pissed off because they wanted to, and this Rick Chow dude, he's a menace. Let me get on him real quick. He is a menace. Rick Chow should have he should lose his gun license. If he didn't lose his life, to be honest with you, if he didn't lose his freedom, he doesn't need to have a gun. Rick Chow is the dude, and of course the 2A folks, nutheads out here, they're not gonna, unfortunately speak on this situation, or not in mass. But Rick Chow is at the actual crazy guy with the gun that all the anti-gunners are talking about. See, when they say, when anti-gunners, right, people who are against the Second Amendment, against people having guns, when they say things like, oh, they're having a gun, everyone who has a gun is crazy, this, that, and the third, they're nuts for saying that, but they're not completely 100% wrong. There are crazy individuals with guns, licensed guns, who just got that gun because they want to flex their authority, in quotation marks for those who are just listening to what I'm saying here and not watching the video. They want to flex their authority, in quotation marks, that they have over somebody. They're looking for a reason to pull out that gun and shoot. Although, if I know my instructors told me this. I know, other people's instructors. I've heard stories of other people's instructors telling them this. Your firearm, I've heard this again plenty of times before as myself. Simply because you have a license to carry does not mean you have the right, or you're in the right to just pull out your gun whenever you want and use it, or you should do that. You should always your gun and that license, but your gun essentially is always a not last minute, but just a last resort in general. If you should always want to de-escalate whatever situation that you may find yourself in. You should always want to de-escalate it, especially de-escalating it in a non-lethal way. You should always want to do that. You should always aim to do that. There's steps to de-escalation, or just, if you can't de-escalate, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of harm's way. You should never want to look for situations to even want to use your gun. Like I said, it's a last resort type of situation where you've done everything that your responsible instructor told you to do. De-escalate, get out, try non-lethal situations to, again, de-escalate, or to get yourselves out of harm's way. If you've gone through literally the entire list and nothing has worked, then it's like, fine, now you gotta pull out. When somebody is running away, you don't pull out your gun. When they're running away from you, running away from the fight that you all were in, the verbal spat, running away in general, you don't pull out your gun. This is not the castle doctrine situation where, certain states have it to where even if someone is, coming on your property, your house, your castle per se, right? And they either break in, or they're there to cause harm, and you pull out your gun, and then they're like, fuck this, I'm out. They try to run, and then you shoot them. That would protect like a Rick Chow or someone in that situation. But that's only for homes, if I'm not mistaken. Not your place of business. Not anywhere else. Not your fucking public library. Not your local Target. Not your local grocery store. Not your store. The one that you own. For your house in general. And again, it's really dependent on state, because that's not a universal, it's not a universal thing, but it's also not a national thing. Not every state has the castle doctrine. So there is that. But you are always told, if someone is running away, either you run away from the trouble so you don't have to use your gun and take a life, or if someone else who is giving you the trouble is running away, that still doesn't give you grounds to for you to pull out and immediately stop them. They're clearly gone. And again, as I was stating earlier, this is stuff I've learned. You know what I'm saying? That, from, it was common sense to me, to be real with you. But also stuff that, again, I learned from the instructors, right? When somebody is running away, chances are they're not coming back. Chances are they met somebody or they fucked around and they found out, essentially, right? They didn't use that language, but I'm using that language. Chances are they fucked around, they found out, and they say, this ain't the target. This ain't the target that I want to try. So I'm not coming back. I'm not trying him or her ever again. I'm not doing that. No, let me find someone else. Or if you didn't scare them shitless for life, let me not ever try to, let me go legit. let me go work at McDonald's or something to get this money or whatever. Because I don't want to try anything, that's going to get me fucked up out here, right? You don't know, but that's not your responsibility to know. It's also not your responsibility to try to kill somebody, immediately, stop them indefinitely when they're running away. We are told, once again, if they're running away, you either stay, you talk to the cops about it, or you run the fuck away. You run the opposite direction, but you don't run after them, and you damn sure don't have your bullets running after them. Rick Chow broke every fucking rule that I am sure when he was getting his gun license, his instructor told him not to do. And yet, he's still, from my understanding, is still allowed to carry. And obviously, he's still free. And unfortunately, I'm going to say it, he's still alive. YouTube, I don't give a shit if you feel whatever you feel. I'll just upload this on Substack. Alright, if you want to shut this video down and stuff, whatever. Like I said, the shit that I say in these videos get flagged, but then racists can bombard my comments with bullshit, and then it's free speech. Get out of here. But anyways, not only was that, I believe there were other situations where Rick Chow, and I'm mistaking the years, I'm paraphrasing, I should have had this information pulled up, I know. I should have had it pulled up. If I remember while editing this video, I'll have some of the stats of Rick Chow's previous shootings. But again, he is the madman with a gun that anti-gunners talk about. They're not completely wrong. They're wrong about everybody. They're wrong about 99% of gun owners, responsible gun owners. But they're not completely wrong. There are the Rick Chows of the world who are, again, they obtain a gun, whether legally or illegally, with the sole purpose of, I'm going to use this thing on people to assert my dominance over people, especially if it's asserting their dominance over people that they believe that they're more superior to or are less superior in general. They do shit like that. The chuds of the world, right? And I'll talk about the whole Chud the Builder shit. Don't you worry. I got a video queued up, in relation, let's just say, to Chud the Builder. Not queued up, but, in my notes. So I will record that and share my thoughts on that. But, I bring him up because he is someone who, again, who wanted to make sure he had the gun, bear spray, whatever weapons he can get. Not for the sake of protecting himself per se, not because it's his right to have it and he just wants to have it to, again, protect himself, but for the sake of causing harm. There are people, yes, there are legal gun owners. Legal people who are licensed to carry other types of means of protections, right? Obtain these things legally. Who don't do so with the intent of the most, let's just say, with the intent of, again, protecting themselves, right? They want to cause harm. Rick Chow, and this is the first time he's murdered somebody, but it's not the first time he's shot somebody. he actually did shoot people who actually did steal from his store, not returned bottles of water, not returned anything, not actually complied with his wife's demand when they said, put your bag over there, show me your pockets, all this other stuff she was saying to him, and he was complying the entire time to her fucking demands, right? That guy gets murdered, or that young man gets murdered. But the actual thieves, and I'm not saying that the thieves should have got murdered, right? There was a woman who, a couple years ago, stole a 6-pack of beers and a bag of peanuts from Rick Chow's store. He shot at that woman 6 times, firing 6 shots into her vehicle. She ended up getting away still, but still, 6 shots into the passenger side, by the way. I believe that was the side she was on. No one got hit. Crazy, but no one got hit. Not the passenger, to my understanding. Not the passenger, not the driver of that situation. Not anybody else that may have been in the back or so or whatever, right? But that was a shooting. There was another shooting where he got into an altercation with a thief who, again, was stealing from his store. They got into a physical altercation, and then it got to the point where he did pull out his gun after their physical altercation, and he shot at the individual 2 times, hitting them once in the leg. There are many times where people have called into that Shell, it was the Shell gas station. There were many times where people called, made complaints about that specific location that was ran by, again, Rick Chow, about how abusive he is, how aggressive he is, and all this other stuff, and nothing was done. Nothing was done. People can assume, well, the police must think he was in the right. Word, because the police chief actually had a meeting with your boy Rick Chow, and the contents of that meeting was, bro, you're pushing it with your gun rights, and this is a warning to you that if you keep pushing your rights, we're gonna have to take away your license, man. And I wouldn't be surprised if the meeting was just that lax. It was like, bro, chill out. You're pushing it. You're getting complaints. You done shot 2 people. You done shot 1 person. You done shot at another person. All these other people claiming that you're pulling out your gun on them and you're threatening them and all this stuff. You're wilding right now. You're not under arrest, but you're wilding right now. Alright, just because you have the right to bear arms doesn't mean you have the right to threaten lives. So I'm giving you a warning right now, and you just gotta chill, bro. Now get out of my office, please. You know what I'm saying? But, that was the case there, and yeah, unfortunately, he didn't get the message because to Rick Chow, to racist POC like him, especially when you have a white police forces, a white society in general, that allows them to get away with their anti-blackness, their racism, that rewards them in ways like not arresting them, not taking away their gun rights, although their gun license, their firearm in general, not shutting their business down, not taking any of the hundreds, and I'm not exaggerating, I believe the number was like over 100 complaints. I don't care if the number was exactly 100. That's a lot of damn complaints. That's a lot of damn complaints. Y'all would go crazy if a video of mine had 100 thumbs down. And it could be 100 thumbs down from, it could be 1 thumbs down from someone who has 100 botted accounts because they didn't like some shit I said. But 100 thumbs down for opinions said in a video that people didn't take too kindly for. Whereas people made legitimate, serious complaints about how threatening the dude was. And again, this tallied to up to 100 or more And yet none of these complaints were ever taken seriously. This is how we got here. This, or at least that is one of the reasons how we got here, to now Rich Chow taking the life of a 14-year-old teenager and him getting off scot-free. For those who are like, how can he get away scot-free? This is America. And, you know, I wanted to share the Donald Glover clip of him saying this is America, but the way YouTube works, once again, everyone else can use that edit and no strikes on their videos, fine. But I can use that edit of Donald Glover saying this is America for 3 seconds, and then I get hit with a DMC strike, or DMCA, whatever it's called, a Run DMC strike, whatever that strike is, right? I get hit with that, right? The rules aren't the same. I use that analogy to say the rules aren't the same. Not for me when I make YouTube content and I try to get spicy with the content, with the editing, and the rules aren't the same for black folks here in America. Like myself as well. You know? We walk into stores, we're labeled guilty. We can prove that we didn't steal anything. We can prove that we're not there to steal anything with our willingness to give up our possessions, like a fucking bag, and place it somewhere, or, you know, release our pockets on you know, open our pockets and allow people. Even I've seen situations where people allowed people to reach into their damn pockets and check themselves to see if there's any items in there, and they pulled out nothing but the fucking lint that was in there in the first place. And no, the lint wasn't stolen from the store. Who the hell is stealing lint? But you know, even if the lint was stolen, is it worth shooting somebody 6 times for, or shooting at somebody 6 times for, shooting at somebody in general, chasing somebody down? You stole my lint. Get the fuck out of here. Nothing Rich Chow did. And then again, this is a pro 2A guy. But I could look at that situation and know it has zero to do with the fact that he killed a black teen. It has everything to do with me saying, nigga, you was foul. You abuse your right, and you're making it look bad for all of us when you do some dumb shit like that with your right to carry. This is the ammo that gives the Democrats and the anti-guns, the anti-gunners, the ammunition, pun intended, to say things like, see, this is why no one should have guns. You see what Rick Chow did? Rick Chow isn't all of the responsible gun owners here in the United States, but he shall not be ignored either. He's also clearly a racist piece of shit. Outside of him being a irresponsible legal gun owner, he's a racist piece of shit, him and the rest of his family. And they should get out of that neighborhood. They should not be servicing black people. He should lose his gun license. He should lose his freedom. One might even say he should lose his life. His son should also be locked up for assaulting a child, a minor. The wife didn't break any laws per se, but she's a prejudiced piece of shit as well, and that's her wrongdoing. But that's not against, I mean, it is against the law, but it's not necessarily against the law. You know, it's not jail worthy, let me just say that. That if somebody walked into your store and you asked and you followed them around, it's not illegal per se to do that. It's wrong though, but it's not illegal to follow somebody around and then question them inside of your store. So I'm not going to say she should lose her freedom. She should definitely lose her business. Her husband should lose the business, his freedom. Her son should lose his freedom as well. Lose part of the business too, his business. And Cyrus should be alive. Ain't no two ways about it. He should still be alive. He didn't steal anything. And if he did steal anything, is it really worth killing a teenager for stealing? I've mentioned this before. There's a bunch of teenagers at that shop at the local grocery store. Shop is half the time, because the other times there have been times where they've stolen something. Not once have I ever seen the security there chase after them. That's number one, or try to shoot them or harm them in any way. It's not worth it. Killing somebody because they stole something, or you think, or you're accusing them of stealing something from your store. Last thing I want to say before I go. Cyrus returned those 4 bottles of water that he initially pulled, because we don't know, because he's not here alive, unfortunately, to defend himself, to defend his honor, to speak up for himself. But I've been in Cyrus's situation, both when I was a teenager, when I was his age, and as an adult now, as an adult within my 20s, and as an adult now. I've been in situations where I've walked into stores, immediately felt those eyes on me, immediately was either questioned or something said to me. And I said, fuck this, I'm out of here. I believe that is what was going through Cyrus's mind when he returned the bottles of water. He first walks in, immediately is told that he's got to put his bag down. That's strike number 1. Strike number 2 and 3, really, him going to, not him having the strikes, but in his mind, it's like, strike 1, you told me to put my bag down, so you're instantly accusing me of stealing something when I'm not stealing. That's strike 1. I go to this water, and guess who's following me? Miss Chow over here. So fuck this. I can feel her eyes on me. I know when I'm being followed, because even as a black teenager, when I was his age, I knew how it felt when I had eyes on me, even when they weren't in my peripheral. And I was right. And I wasn't being paranoid. So it wouldn't surprise me that he knew and said, fuck that. Fuck this shit. It ain't worth it in this damn store. I'm not going to spend money here. I'm going to go back home, or I'm going to go somewhere else. Simple as that. He had no harm, so he put the items back where where he got them in the first place. A nigga like me, especially when I was 14, I was just dropping shit everywhere. I would have said, fuck this shit, I'm out, and then dropped the bottle like on the floor or something, and then walked out and dared them to try to do something. He's got a lot more composure than I did at 14 years old. So shout out to him, and again, rest in peace. Because I would have just, like I said, just dropped the shit and dipped and said, fuck you. This is how you feel about me. This is how you gonna treat me. This is how I'm gonna treat your fucking store. Drop that shit. You pick it up and go handle the shit then, nigga. I did that when I was like 20 something. That was the last time I did something like that. But I was like 20 something in the store. And, again, was accused of some shit. And I was legit walking to cash it out. And somebody was like, somebody was like, I forget, they said something about like, you gotta pay for that. And I had it was like an ice cream sandwich too. So I was like, word, dropped it. And I was like, I was gonna pay for this shit anyway. Cursed the personnel, was like, you're gonna pay for this shit anyways, but fuck that. Dropped it on the floor. And then they was like, pick it up. And I was like, you pick it the fuck up. And then I walked out the store. They just looked at me with their jaw dropped and everything. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this nigger did this. Yep. So I know the feeling. Not saying that was the most appropriate action then, but I know the feeling. Now I'm much more composed. Because again, this shit still happens to me now when I walk into establishments. Not everywhere, but of course it happens. But I'm much more composed. The moment I'm like, oh, this is the vibe, I'm out. I don't say anything. I don't go looking around. As soon as the vibe hits me, I am out. It's really that simple. People don't say anything. I've never been chased out of a store, even in those situations where I just dropped the shit on the floor. Again, the one person did tell me to put it back, and then I told them to put it back, and then their jaw just dropped, and No one said anything. When I was, again, a teenager and dropping shit on the floor, people didn't say anything. Jaws dropped, whatever, and that was that. There was that one time, again, as a teen, when I dropped some shit. As soon as I dropped it, walked away, I can tell immediately somebody was coming over to put the shit back. Like, rushed over just to put it back in, put the stuff back in where it was. And because these people, these motherfuckers know they're wrong. But I was just watching a video today, right? And I'm going to try to share this video in this clip here, or share a clip of this video, probably at the end of this video, right?
I was talking to some medical colleagues of mine who told me about a breakthrough, the cusp of a breakthrough. Do you know for the past 2 years, they've been doing studies, brain wave studies on racist white men and women. And what they found was astounding. They found that racist white men and women, their brain pattern waves mimic that of someone who's an addict. It also mimics that of someone who has obsessive compulsive disorder, someone who has racing thoughts in their minds about their own addiction. When I heard that, I said, so wait, are you telling me racist white men and women are actually addicted to black people? She said, kind of, yeah. And I don't know why, but there was such a weight that lifted off of my shoulders. As a black woman in this country, I thought it was my responsibility to help racist white people. Come to find out, it's an actual medical condition. It really is a mental health condition. Me helping a racist white person is equivalent to an opioid addict asking heroin to please help them with their addiction. It's a them issue, and it's a medical them issue. I don't know why, but that makes me feel different this morning. You're a love blessed.
These motherfuckers is retarded. Racist people are retarded. Their obsession with black folks, these people are retarded. But there's a part of themselves that know that what they're doing is wrong. They're racially profiling you. There's a part of them that is obsessed with us to the point where it's a guilty obsession on their end. But they know that they're wrong for doing it. So when the lady rushed over to pick up the items that I dropped and placed them back to where I got them, that was an admission of guilt. Although she was still foul, and also although she still probably harbors anti-black thoughts, that was, he reacted this way. I'm scared. That's number one. That was that. I'm scared, so let me not do anything threatening that's going to really set him the fuck off, even though he's pissed off now, and clearly he was because he threw all these items on the floor. But let me not do anything else threatening, but also the reason why he reacted that way is because I was following him around, because I was accusing him of some shit. I had a situation recently where I was at a train station and kids love me, right? I don't want kids. I don't want anything to do with anybody's kids. I am not the type that want to talk to people's kids. All my years of being an educator, that was my fill of kids. I don't want kids. I don't want to interact with them. If I don't gotta interact with a child, I don't. But I was at a train station. This was a couple months ago. I go there first, by the way. I entered the train station first. I'm waiting for this train. A lady and a little girl come in probably about like 2 minutes after me. The lady's on her phone the entire time walking. They're both walking. The little girl, she's clearly not on her phone because she's a little girl. She don't got a phone. So she is essentially guiding this lady, right? Whoever this lady was. So the little girl stands exactly next to me. As soon as the adult lady notices that, as soon as the lady she was with notices that she's standing next to me, she's like, she gets on the girl. She damn near curses the girl out for standing next to me, and talks about how, she shouldn't be, near strangers and this, that, and the third, right? But then, she quickly turns it into a situation to where she was blaming me. Like in the conversation she's having with this girl, she's talking about how dangerous I am. A random black man waiting for the train on his phone, by the way. And probably thought I couldn't hear the situation because I had my pods in, right? But a random black man on his phone, playing Tetris, of all, right, is dangerous, waiting for the same train that she's waiting for. So she goes on to talk about how dangerous that it is and stuff like that, right? I hear that and I mutter to myself, loud enough for them to hear it. I was like, that's funny because I was here first, and yet I'm the threat because your daughter or whoever walks up on me and I didn't even do anything, right? The lady heard it. I don't think the little girl heard it because the little girl was just I think she was still too distracted, and she was like, you could tell she was depressed at what her mom said, right? Well, whoever the older sister was, right? So I don't know, but I didn't even look to see the girl's expression, but I could see from the corner of my eyes the lady's expression, right? Also another person of color. This was a Latina with a little Spanish girl, right? Or Latin girl, right? So again, POC solidarity once again, y'all, proves not to be true. So the lady hears that, and I can see from the corner of her eye she's pissed off and she wants to say something. So I immediately look at her, and then she tells the girl, come on, let's go. So they leave. I'm still at this train station because the train was fucked up that day. This is 15 minutes later. Train's still not here, but I'm still waiting. So I wait, and lo and behold, they come back. Again, 15 minutes later. And instantly when they come back, the lady sees me still standing there, and she's like, she gasped. She literally just gasped, like audibly gasped. And I was like, oh no, here we go with this bitch again. What am I doing this time? Oh my God, just standing there and waiting for the fucking train on my phone. She gasped, and then she tells the girl again, come on, we'll just walk. And then, of course, the little girl is now, now she's like talking back to, whoever, mom, sister, whoever this lady was, auntie, whatever, right? Whoever this older adult in her life is. She's like, oh, I don't want to walk, like doing something a kid would do when they don't want to walk somewhere, right? So she starts doing that, and then, the lady, you can tell, is getting frustrated with her crying, and come on, let's go, this, that, and the third, right? And she switched from speaking English to speaking Spanish because obviously that's when she probably wanted to get racist and say some shit like, we don't want to be standing next to that negron, or whatever that blanquito, or whatever that term is they use, and moreno, that's what it is, right? Oh, mind you, this wasn't like a crowded train station, by the way. It's not the hugest train station. For those who are familiar with the Boston area, even East Boston, this was Orient Heights. Take that as you want, you know what I'm saying? If you're familiar with the train station, so you get a visual picture. Again, this was at Orient Heights station. I'm standing in the middle, pretty much in the middle where, the entrance is and stuff. But it's not, like I said, it's not a huge station, but it's not the smallest, like you're crammed. Her and that little girl could have easily gone on either corners of the train station. And again, I wasn't going to do anything because I just wanted to get home. It's really that simple. I just wanted to get home. Like every other black person, when we're out and about, we're just trying to get from point A to point B. We ain't trying to talk to your fucking kid. We ain't trying to steal your kid or abduct them. We ain't trying to do anything to you, your grandmama, your none of that shit. All the stereotypes and racist shit that comes to mind when you see a black person. The majority of us, the stats show, the majority of us ain't doing shit to you. We ain't even thinking about it. We mind our own fucking business. Even that's a threat. So it's like, these things still happen. But I stay firm in who I am. I stand up for myself. Again, like speaking and saying, I was here first and I'm just standing here, and yet I'm a threat to you and your little girl. But she came over to me, standing right next to me. By the way, I did step to the side when because she was closer. The little girl was closer to me than my own comfort. I don't know this little girl, so I don't want to stand that close to anybody's child, let alone a child I don't know. So it's like, I don't know you, so I stepped to the side, and she didn't like step closer, but she was still like right next to me, but not as close as she once was. And again, kids feel comfortable around me. They love me and all this other stuff. They understand. They get that vibe that this man is not here to harm me. He's not dangerous. He's not. It's their racist ass parents or older siblings, whoever they are, their caretakers, that has their stereotypical thoughts about me. Right? Not everyone, but I'm just detailing the situations where these happen. But all in all, man, like I said what I said about the situation here. Again, I'll try to leave that video either at the end or somewhere, when I started talking about the mind of racist folks, because it's an odd one. But rest in peace to Cyrus once again. I am loving the I don't care how long this video is anyways, right? Let me just say this and then get on with my day. I am loving that people are, or it seems that people are saying things like they're not going to support these Asian-owned businesses, these non-black businesses. I get that. My only fear is that people treat it as a trend, as with all the support black businesses trend that has gone on throughout the years, right? Their past and their recent past as well. So if you're going to say that, please actually just stand on it. Also, if you are going to actually support black businesses, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Simply because a black business may not be black American owned, or they get their supplies from somebody else, or, it might not even be in a black neighborhood, or it might be too far, which is people are willing to travel to places that is 10 miles away from their house, and yet the 4 to 5 mile away, black business that might be 4 to 5 miles away from their location. Oh, that's still hard, but you willing to go 15 miles to a fucking football game. That's in the suburb, in the stadium of the suburb of the city that they claim that they play for. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't seem like the location is a problem to you. The travel is a problem to you. It's what you deem worthy of the time you spend traveling to said business, because supporting a sporting event is supporting a business. It's whether you acknowledge it as supporting a business or acknowledge it as supporting your sports team, it's still supporting a business. The sports team is a business. The stadium is a business. When you purchase things, when you get gas at the local suburban gas station, or wherever you stop to get gas and pick up snacks, you are supporting those businesses. So I don't want to hear things about location if you're willing to travel far away from home to go to other things. It's not the location that's clearly a problem. But all in all, like I said, let's not let perfect be the enemy of good. Meaning, things don't have to be tip-top shape for you to actually stand on business and for you to support the very black business people that you claim you want to support or do support. So, just want to say all of that. all that cheering you might hear outside, there's a bunch of events going on outside. So there is that. Until next time, until next video. Y'all see me when y'all see me. Take care.